I look generally at sound in liquids. So there have been elements, for example, as how dolphins echolocate, the kind of mental processes, the calculations they go through in order to detect objects underwater when they are faced with challenges. And that's now in development for a sonar system, through to other kinds of liquids. So, for example, the atmosphere of Venus is dense. It's much denser than ours. It's about 10% the density of water. So I do a lot of calculations to try and work out what sounds would be like on these other worlds. Because we've got loads of images of other worlds. But whenever a sci-fi movie does an image of another world, it makes a movie of another world. It's full of great, accurate images from all the cameras we sent there. We've never listened to another world, so I calculate what it would be. So that, for example, I know that should we have spacemen walking down a cliffside on Mars, and somebody at the back sets off a rock fall, you don't have the ears in the helmet to listen for the sound. You put the ears on a Martian spacesuit on the feet, because only through the ground wave will they actually hear it. Won't travel through the air. So I calculate what the sounds are like on other worlds as well. So it's from liquids like the ocean that the dolphins swim in, through to liquids like you'd find in other worlds. There are people who have wounds that don't heal. So, for example, the NHS spends nearly £1 billion a year doing 7,000 amputations of feet of diabetics who get an ulcer in the foot, and it can't be healed. So, because I found that in human salvage skin cut off patients that we can keep alive for 60 days, because I found that, my team have found, I'm simply the man who takes the credit, they do all the work, because we have found that we can heal wounds in such skin. What we hope to do is next year translate it into patients and find people who've got wounds that will not heal and start healing them, but not using drugs, because that just fuels the growth of superbugs and the antibiotic apocalypse. So we avoid the use of drugs, and instead we just use sound, air and water, mix them together in the right combination, and watch the wounds heal and the skin grow. For a layman's book, I would go to your previous interviewee, Trevor Cox, his book Sonic Wonderland, because it's a marvellous read, but also it refers to me as the Harry Potter in acoustics. So I'm partial to that. Obviously, if you want to actually be trained up in the maths of acoustics, you have to go elsewhere. But I would say that's a great book to start with. For a movie, I would say Last Days on Mars, purely because they asked me to advise them about how you do sound on Mars. So I have a fondness for that film for that purpose.